1997, numerous interventions and projects have been implemented. However, measuring the impact thereof has been challenging due to the absence of a central repository of information. Digital technologies and applications will therefore contribute to the economic growth, societal well-being, and the effective governance of the Namibian MSME sector. The objectives are as follows: universal access to MSME support via digital platforms, free and convenient access to information for and about SMEs, ensure ease of access to accurate and reliable information, and a digital ecosystem to serve as a central repository for all information pertaining to SMEs. The outcomes thereof are an SME microsite, MSME yellow pages, support organization directories, and a national MSME app. So who are the stakeholders? We have the data managers, the MSME Ecosystem Optimization Unit in the MSME department at the NIPDB, the ICT and Business Analysis Unit of the Operations Department at the NIPDB, as well as MTC. Then we have data users, the MSMEs, the Capacity Building and Market Access Unit at the NIPDB, the Business Advisory Unit at the NIPDB, Investment and New Ventures at the NIPDB, business support organizations, non-governmental organizations, non-profit organizations, government organizations, ministries and agencies, as well as domestic, regional and international investors and donors. With regards to logistics, the activation and launch are to be confirmed. How does it work? Each user of the app must register. The registration will assist in creating and updating the central repository of MSME details. The app must also record every time the user uses the app to make sure that the user is still an active MSME. Yellow Pages only disables active users. There will be mandatory fields with drop-downs as much as possible, and a checkbox is added to agree with X, Y, Z. Some MSMEs will not have access to either a smartphone or internet to use the app. A web page must be available where MSMEs can register from regional offices or councils. These registrations must be flagged differently than normal registrations. The app must provide information relevant to the MSME user. This will include an FAQ section and details such as contact information on funding. The app must support push notifications, in-app notices of specific events, information, etc. Examples of this will be a notice pushed to all users that they need to submit their tax returns or pay the annual BEPA duties. There must be a listing of procurement opportunities specific for MSMEs. The option to schedule an appointment with a business advisor or consultant at the NIPDB will be made available. This option must be linked to the advisor or consultant's calendar. A user-friendly UI for managing the app will be created. This can be a normal web page that will include updating information, contacts, FAQs, adding notifications, etc. MTC will be the provider for verification, mobile money, airtime, etc. The long-term goal is to branch interfaces to other relevant agencies such as paying your annual BEPA duties with the MTC mobile money, filing your tax returns, use of POS devices with possible card options, applying for a loan, link to the FAQ or information sections. A centralized database will be used for the website app and internal. Multiple statuses will be added, including accreditation, dormancy, or being deleted. Accreditation is the highest status and it needs to be shown on the yellow pages. Our project implementing partner is the NIPDB, powered by MTC. And the point of contact at the NIPDB is the MSME Ecosystem Optimization Unit within the MSME department. Digitization. Eliminate information asymmetry as a barrier to MSME development and support. Information is the cornerstone of efficient decision-making. Despite all the technological advancements that now facilitate the collection and storage of information, The slow adoption of the use of data as a basis for MSME development interventions in our country have resulted in very little impact. It is commonly known that digitization improves process efficiency, lowers transaction costs, and enables better control of project execution for institutions and the beneficiaries of public services. The early adoption of digitization in advanced countries has resulted in economic benefits that are 20% higher than other countries. Since the inception of our national MSME mandate in 1997, numerous interventions and projects have been implemented. However, measuring the impact thereof has been challenging due to the absence of a central repository of information. Digital technologies and applications will therefore contribute to the economic growth, societal well-being, and the effective governance of the Namibian MSME sector. The objectives are as follows: universal access to MSME support via digital platforms, free and convenient access to information for and about SMEs, ensure ease of access to accurate and reliable information, and a digital ecosystem to serve as a central repository for all information pertaining to SMEs. The outcomes thereof are an SME microsite, MSME yellow pages, support organization directories, and a national MSME app. So who are the stakeholders? We have the data managers, the MSME Ecosystem Optimization Unit in the MSME department at the NIPDB, the ICT and Business Analysis Unit of the Operations Department at the NIPDB, as well as MTC. Then we have data users, the MSMEs, the Capacity Building and Market Access Unit at the NIPDB, the Business Advisory Unit at the NIPDB, Investment and New Ventures at the NIPDB, business support organizations, non-governmental organizations, non-profit organizations, government organizations, ministries and agencies, as well as domestic, regional and international investors and donors. With regards to logistics, the activation and launch are to be confirmed. How does it work? Each user of the app must register. The registration will assist in creating and updating the central repository of MSME details. The app must also record every time the user uses the app to make sure that the user is still an active MSME. Yellow Pages only disables active users. There will be mandatory fields with drop-downs as much as possible, and a checkbox is added to agree with X, Y, Z. Some MSMEs will not have access to either a smartphone or internet to use the app. A web page must be available where MSMEs can register from regional offices or councils. These registrations must be flagged differently than normal registrations. The app must provide information relevant to the MSME user. This will include an FAQ section and details such as contact information on funding. The app must support push notifications, in-app notices of specific events, information, etc. Examples of this will be a notice pushed to all users that they need to submit their tax returns or pay the annual BIPA duties. There must be a listing of procurement opportunities specific for MSMEs. The option to schedule an appointment with a business advisor or consultant at the NIPDB will be made available. This option must be linked to the advisor or consultant's calendar. A user-friendly UI for managing the app will be created. This can be a normal web page that will include updating information, contacts, FAQs, adding notifications, etc. MTC will be the provider for verification, mobile money, airtime, etc. The long-term goal is to branch interfaces to other relevant agencies such as paying your annual BIPA duties with the MTC mobile money, filing your tax returns, use of POS devices with possible card options, applying for a loan, link to the FAQ or information sections. A centralized database will be used for the website app and internal. Multiple statuses will be added, including accreditation, dormancy, or being deleted. Accreditation is the highest status and it needs to be shown on the yellow pages. Our project implementing partner is the NIPDB, powered by MTC. And the point of contact at the NIPDB is the MSME Ecosystem Optimization Unit within the MSME department. Digitization. Eliminate information asymmetry as a barrier to MSME development and support. Information is the cornerstone of efficient decision-making. Despite all the technological advancements that now facilitate the collection and storage of information, the slow adoption of the use of data as a basis for MSME development interventions in our country have resulted in very little impact. It is commonly known that digitization improves process efficiency, lowers transaction costs, and enables better control of project execution for institutions and the beneficiaries of public services. The early adoption of digitization in advanced countries has resulted in economic benefits that are 20% higher than other countries. Since the inception of our national MSME mandate in 1997, numerous interventions and projects have been implemented. However, measuring the impact thereof has been challenging due to the absence of a central repository of information. Digital technologies and applications will therefore contribute to the economic growth, societal well-being, and the effective governance of the Namibian MSME sector. The objectives are as follows: universal access to MSME support via digital platforms, free and convenient access to information for and about SMEs, ensure ease of access to accurate and reliable information, and a digital ecosystem to serve as a central repository for all information pertaining to SMEs. The outcomes thereof are an SME microsite, MSME yellow pages, support organization directories, and a national MSME app. So who are the stakeholders? We have the data managers, the MSME Ecosystem Optimization Unit in the MSME department at the NIPDB, the ICT and Business Analysis Unit of the Operations Department at the NIPDB, as well as MTC. Then we have data users, the MSMEs, the Capacity Building and Market Access Unit at the NIPDB, the Business Advisory Unit at the NIPDB, Investment and New Ventures at the NIPDB, business support organizations, non-governmental organizations, non-profit organizations, government organizations, ministries and agencies, as well as domestic, regional and international investors and donors. With regards to logistics, the activation and launch are to be confirmed. How does it work? Each user of the app must register. The registration will assist in creating and updating the central repository of MSME details. The app must also record every time the user uses the app to make sure that the user is still an active MSME. Yellow Pages only disables active users. There will be mandatory fields with drop-downs as much as possible, and a checkbox is added to agree with X, Y, Z. Some MSMEs will not have access to either a smartphone or internet to use the app. A web page must be available where MSMEs can register from regional offices or councils. These registrations must be flagged differently than normal registrations. The app must provide information relevant to the MSME user. This will include an FAQ section and details such as contact information on funding. The app must support push notifications, in-app notices of specific events, information, etc. Examples of this will be a notice pushed to all users that they need to submit their tax returns or pay the annual BEPA duties. There must be a listing of procurement opportunities specific for MSMEs. The option to schedule an appointment with a business advisor or consultant at the NIPDB will be made available. This option must be linked to the advisor or consultant's calendar. A user-friendly UI for managing the app will be created. This can be a normal web page that will include updating information, contacts, FAQs, adding notifications, etc. MTC will be the provider for verification, mobile money, airtime, etc. The long-term goal is to branch interfaces to other relevant agencies such as paying your annual BEPA duties with the MTC mobile money, filing your tax returns, use of POS devices with possible card options, applying for a loan, link to the FAQ or information sections. A centralized database will be used for the website app and internal. Multiple statuses will be added, including accreditation, dormancy, or being deleted. Accreditation is the highest status and it needs to be shown on the yellow pages. Our project implementing partner is the NIPDB, powered by MTC. And the point of contact at the NIPDB is the MSME Ecosystem Optimization Unit within the MSME department. Digitization. Eliminate information asymmetry as a barrier to MSME development and support.
Alrighty, good evening, everybody. Are we all ready to take our seats, ladies and gents? All right. Please, my beautiful co-host. Alrighty, once again, welcome everybody, all protocols observed. Welcome to the In4msme application launch, connecting Namibian MSME, unlocking growth.
Hello, everybody, and a very big welcome. My name is Beatrice Schultz, and I'm going to be your co-host this evening, joined by the lovely Marcella Rita. A very big welcome to all of you joining us online. We are coming to you live at the Village.
Yes, and this is so exciting because technology is here, digital transformation, artificial intelligence is coming, everything is coming, and we are taking it online so that everyone has access to information.
100%. As they say, if it's not on social media, it didn't happen. So please feel free to take a picture and tag the NIPDB and MTC Namibia.
All right, so shall we get started, B?
Yes, we shall get started. Now, to give our official opening for the evening, I'd like to call upon Mr. Dino Balotti, who is the executive. Let me get your credentials properly. He is the executive director of the MSME development from the NIPDB. NIPDB. Can we please give him a round of applause?
So it's a bit of an inside joke, the theme song that was playing now. I asked for Stone Cold Steve Austin's WWE entrance song, but they got it wrong. So, but thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to this auspicious occasion. With great honor and pleasure, I would like to extend a special welcome to our partner MTC. We are truly grateful, where this would not have been possible without your support, efforts, shared vision, and resource. On behalf of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board and all Namibian businesses, we thank you. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Francois Brandt, the Deputy Executive Director of the Ministry of Finance, and I'm a bit conscious of name dropping as I see there's many prominent people in the room, specifically the United Nations, or UNDP rather. DBN is in attendance, and I've seen a couple of other OMAs, but most specifically the MSMEs and the small businesses that are here this evening. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of our valued stakeholders and colleagues who are joining us virtually from all over the world, specifically Wade. This is a shout out to him in Cairo. He said he'll be watching this evening. So my name, as was mentioned, is Dino Balotti. I like to go as the MSME guy. That's really where the passion is. And I'm very privileged to be here representing the MSME Development, Innovation and Acceleration Department of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. If you have to put the whole title together, I think you need a glass of water after that. So we are gathered here this evening for three main reasons. Firstly, to experience the launch of this year work in progress MSME app. Secondly, we're here to witness the official unveiling of this app. We had a soft launch about 2 months ago, and this evening, I'm pretty sure the other colleagues will share, it's officially live. So tonight is the hard launch, and we're really excited. To note, A first of its kind for governments in Africa, our desktop research has not shown us any other African country where government has undertaken the task of a MSME application of MSMEs and for MSMEs. And this is truly an African innovation. Lastly, for us to network with other MSMEs and like-minded people, the various business support organizations here this evening, and all other fellow Namibians. I'm informed that we have a gentleman from Uganda, in attendance this evening. I'm told he flew all the way in just for this event. That's what I'm going to tell myself, so you're welcome. The subsequent speakers will delve into the details of why we've developed this app, but I'd like to touch on it at a little bit of a high level. So firstly, universal access to MSME support via digital platforms. Secondly, the free, the keyword being free, and convenient access to information about MSMEs. And then also ensuring ease of access to accurate and reliable information. Finally, a digital ecosystem to serve as a central repository for all information pertaining to micro, small, and medium enterprises in Namibia. In a nutshell, the importance of this app is to increase collaboration for MSMEs, to strengthen the linkages or connections around MSMEs, financiers, business support organizations, and to fundamentally facilitate and enhance market access. Our national MSME mandate speaks to targeted support for the scalability and growth of the MSME sector. This informs us that we need to know specifics about businesses that we are here to serve. We need to know about, or we need to be able to differentiate between micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as startups. We need to know who is in the formal or informal sector. We need to know the demography and makeup of small businesses in country. We need to know who is operating in Okakarara. We need to know who is operating in the sectors in the 14 regions, 52 local authorities, and even 121 constituencies. I remembered those numbers for this speech this evening. We no longer need to know someone to be able to be connected to an MSME in country. As an Apex coordinator for MSME development, we need to ensure that no one is left behind and that we are inclusive as a government. His Excellency, our President, always says, and I quote, "Prosperity that is not shared is not sustainable." With that said, allow me to introduce the lineup of speakers that we have here this evening, all of whom have extensive accomplishments, and I could not do it justice to their professional qualifications with the time allotted, but let me provide a snapshot. Ms. Nangula Awanja, the Chief Executive Officer and Chairperson of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, who wanted to make sure that she contributed despite her commitments in the diaspora. She has a pre-recorded message that she will be sharing. Enyu, as we affectionately call her, is an amazing Namibian, and I would love to say, I believe she's tuned in online. Thank you for entrusting the colleagues and I with this nationally important project. Ms. Daisy Matthias, one of my top 3 most favorite Namibians, an advisor on youth matters and enterprise development to our President, His Excellency Dr. Gaingop. Daisy has graciously accepted to be our keynote speaker this evening. You will not meet a more passionate, sincere, and purpose-driven Namibian than Daisy. Her actions speak louder than her words, and I saw some posts this morning where she was in Swakop. So either she broke the speed limit to be here with us this evening, but really, Daisy, thank you for your nation-building agenda. We're very, very honored and privileged to have you here this evening. We are also joined by the very developer of this app, Mr. Nathaniel Nabot, a dynamic young Namibian who is the founder of his very own MSME entitled Bite Able. You, sir, are a rock star. Where are you? There you are. No, you have to clap at the end. Wait. Dr. Liki Erastus joins us tonight in his capacity as the visionary leader and managing director of MTC, a proudly Namibian technology giant who continues to generously and enthusiastically support Namibia. Your committed support to us as an agency of government on the MSME app development journey will never be forgotten nor overlooked. Dr. Rastus, thank you for availing your time to deliver the closing remarks. Finally, this would not have been possible without the support of various stakeholders. Therefore, on behalf of the NIPDB, Ms. Claudia Kapelau will be delivering the vote of thanks. Allow me to also mention that Ms. Kapelau, or rather Mrs. Kapelau, is an exceptional Namibian and the very heavy lifter behind this project this evening with her team. As the head of our ecosystem optimization unit, she and the team have done a remarkable job, and I'm truly proud of her. I think for that we can give her a round of applause. I can't do it as well as you. Tonight we celebrate the work of an exceptional team, MTC, NIPDB, all key stakeholders that have made this evening possible, and I'm really, really excited to listen to the rest of the program. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'd now like to hand back to the very vibrant directors of ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balotti, for that very, very wonderful welcoming address. All right, the things that stood out to me that he said is increased collaboration, and that's very important. When we collaborate together, we go forward much, much faster, right? And then, of course, to enhance market access. And then the most important word for me that stood out is inclusivity. Because everybody needs to be on board, everybody must be able to register on this app. And yeah, technology is very, very important for me. So when you said inclusivity, that means everyone must be together on this. All right. So the next thing on our program is the NIPDB address, which is pre-recorded by Ms. Nangula Wanja, who is the Chief Executive Officer of NIPDB. All right. Shall we get that rolling?
Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board exists to unlock opportunities to enable a better quality of life for all Namibians. In a nutshell, this boils down to tackling the systematic causes of income inequality and unemployment, not only by facilitating investment attraction and retention, but also through MSME development. To this end, the NIPDB coordinates targeted support for the development and scalability of startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Information is the cornerstone of efficient decision-making. Despite all the technological advancement that now facilitate the collection and storage of information, the slow adoption of the use of data as a basis for MSME development intervention in our country have resulted in very little impact. It's commonly known that digitalization improves process efficiency, lowers transaction cost, and enables better control of project execution for institutions and beneficiaries of public service. The early adoption of digitization in advanced countries has resulted in economic benefits that are 20% higher than other countries. Namibia has seen numerous and significant MSME interventions. However, measuring the impact thereof has been challenging. One reason for this is the lack of a comprehensive MSME database. Targeted and consequently effective intervention depend on data like the location of a business, the sector it operates in, whether it is predominantly female or youth-owned, and even whether the business in question is a micro, small, or medium enterprise or a startup. Digital technologies and applications will therefore contribute to the economic growth, societal well-being, and the effective governance of the Namibian MSME sector. Therefore, the MSME app is developed with the aim of sharing and maintaining reliable information for and about MSMEs in Namibia. The tangible outcomes include a business support organization directory, an MSME directory, also known as the MSME Yellow Pages, an MSME portal, and of course, a national MSME app. To conclude, while there may be numerous barriers to MSME growth, MTC and the NIPDB have joined forces to make access to information one less obstacle in the MSME ecosystem. In the spirit of inclusivity, innovation, and agility, here is to making connections that make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Miss Nangula Uwanja, who is the CEO of the NIPDB. As she mentioned, it is for MSMEs. This is a platform for you to grow your business and also get to know other like-minded people within the industry that you can connect with and grow. As the saying goes, it is community over competition. And that is the main purpose of this app, to ensure that you are able to connect with the right people to grow your business. With that said, I'd like to call upon Miss Darcy Matthias, who is the Advisor on Youth and Enterprise Development from the Office of the President, to deliver our keynote address. Can we please give her a round of applause?
Thank you very much, Director of Proceedings. I take note that I did not receive the same music that my colleague did to set the scene, Dino. But it's a pleasure to be here. I want to recognize the head of the executive responsible for MSME development. I'm not going to attempt his full job title, but the passionate, patriotic, amazing Dino Balotti, a good brother and colleague of mine. I recognize senior government officials who are present from the Ministry of Finance as well as our Development Bank of Namibia. I recognize Dr. Liki Erastus, who's the CEO for MTC, our development partners from the United Nations Development Program, I see you, as well as my colleague and comrade, Honorable Daniel Obal, who serves in the same capacity as I do, serving as advisor to General Kaguta Museveni in the private office, Uganda. And to introduce myself, my name is very complicated. It's Daisy with an R. I've been told many times it's a flower with an extra petal. Daisy Matthias. And I serve our president as advisor on youth and enterprise development. And to simplify the work that I do in the presidency is really about making the government work for young people. My portfolio is an amalgamation of youth matters as well as enterprise development. Youth matters being health and wellness, education and skills, economic inclusion and empowerment, and our civic and political participation and engagement. And I think His Excellency in his wisdom knew that it would make a lot of sense to combine these portfolios of the young people, their development, their empowerment, as well as MSME development, because it is us who are expected to harness, the potential within the MSME sector and drive the growth of this economy. We do that by facilitating and addressing barriers that limit our progress. And I think that is what brings us here this evening. It is really my great pleasure, and I thank you, Dino, and your team for extending this invitation for me to witness the launching of this project, which is a long time coming, and I'm glad that we are able to mark this milestone. It is a first. Dino referenced it as an African first. It's certainly a regional and a Namibian first, and something that we can be proud of. The genesis of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, as you are aware, it was created in the year 2020 when His Excellency assumed his second and final term of office. And it was informed by the many lessons that we have learned during the execution of our first Harambee Prosperity Plan, which is the Namibian government's targeted impact plan and acceleration plan towards our growth and prosperity, shared prosperity agenda. The NIPDB has got two key mandates. One is to drive investment promotion, and to this end, the appointing authority gave to Memenangula Wanja and her team a very ambitious target to mobilize 50 billion Namibian dollars worth of investments. And they have been doing the work to identify the projects, package the projects, and promote the projects, and attract the investment, both foreign and domestic investment. This investment is intended to be channeled into the MSME sector as well. And that's the second mandate of the NIPDB, is to create a conducive entrepreneurial ecosystem where we can not only incubate and support to grow, but also scale our enterprises so that they can become sustainable employers, providing gainful and secure employment, not only for the young people, but to make a contribution to the economy. And that is the portfolio that Dino is spearheading, a very critical one. I want to highlight that this application is not only an application, it's really a key instrument in our development agenda. Under both HPP1 and HPP2, we have set ourselves a commitment as government to foster a culture of entrepreneurship and work towards MSME-driven economic growth. We talk about economic recovery, inclusive growth, and shared prosperity, recognizing the contribution that is to be made by the vast MSME sector of the country. And we also identify and recognize within HPP2 that we need to foster and to deepen new frontiers of economic growth. The sectors that traditionally drove our growth and development have been contracting for reasons that are known to us: agriculture with the drought, construction because of fiscal consolidation, hospitality and tourism because of the pandemic and its effects on our economy, and also fisheries, among many other sectors that have just been seeing a downward trend. So we have been intentionally and very aggressively driving growth opportunities in our blue and green economy. The key project being the synthetic fuels industry with our green hydrogen and ammonia proposition. We have been driving opportunities in agriculture by trying to privatize and attract private capital into agricultural government-owned green schemes. We have recognized the ICT and digital sector as a real low-hanging fruit to create a multitude of jobs and economic opportunities, particularly for young people through enterprise. The cultural and the creative industries also are driving not only technology but services in the country. And you will see that these are the sectors that are being prioritized under the Harambee Prosperity Plan. Moreover, still at the development agenda, as I said, the context, the NIPDB is working to intentionally target, coordinate, and create a discriminately favorable and preferential environment to boost our productive capacities and capabilities of local enterprises. The first component is identifying, incubating, and then facilitating access, whether it's to the instruments for growth or the capacity for growth or the markets for growth, so that these businesses can be assisted down the value chain. Vision 2030. All of the institutional strategic plan, the Harambee Prosperity Plan, the NDP 5 and soon 6, all of these are interim plans that are working towards the grand vision for our country. And Vision 2030 has set the ambitious target that at least 30% of our GDP contribution should come from the SME sector. We've also committed to a 70% total contribution in exports from processed goods, and that we want manufacturing and services to constitute 80% of our GDP. If we look at where we are now, and unfortunately there is a little bit of a black box with regard to data, and that is why information management systems like today's one are key to supporting the country to have better authority of information. As at 2014, we had about 12% SME contribution to the GDP against our target of 30%. We also know, according to the records that we have at the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade, that approximately 33,700 SMEs are formally registered. We also have an indication that of those MSMEs that are registered, they create about 160,000 jobs. Our economy, our labor force, creates about 650,000 jobs, and 160,000 of these jobs are currently the contribution of the MSME sector. What we also recognize is that there is a large parallel informal economy that is unquantified in economic contribution, unquantified in employment contribution, unquantified in value of investment. And all of this is, I believe, what information management systems like this national repository is going to help the government to be better informed and to develop the insight that we need. So although they say that data is the new oil, I'm quick to qualify that the value of the data is really derived first from collecting it and then mining it effectively so that you can garner the insights that you need to have evidence-based planning, evidence-based policy, and evidence-based targeted program designs and interventions. And this is why I'm excited to be here this evening, and that is the significance of this In4msme app. And I also like the play on the name. It's In4msme, but it's also in for the SMEs. I think you get. The main objective of this application is to eliminate information asymmetry as a barrier to MSME development and support. His Excellency recently appointed the Namibia 4IR task force. It was one of the directives included in the Harambee Prosperity Plan. And the intent of the head of state to convene this task force was to gain a better understanding of our country's readiness for the 4IR, and also to inform the country through the government how to better position ourselves to be prepared for an unavoidable future. Among the successes of the 4IR task force is that they have been able to not only conduct the very first country readiness assessment, they've also been to develop legislative toolkits to guide lawmakers on how to formulate laws and policy frameworks that are 4IR compliant. They have been able to make key recommendations towards coherence of policy frameworks, looking at a number of bodies of legislative and policy instruments that include things like our ability to monetize digital currency in the country so that we can effectively e-commerce. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar or have been able to cash out your PayPal payments from Google, from Facebook, from YouTube. We have got growing influencer landscapes. We've got a lot of entertainment and creative cultural entrepreneurs who are doing their work online digitally, and they're being paid in digital currency, but currently the laws in the country impede the ability for us to access that kind of transaction. You have to fly to South Africa to transact in the same multinational financial institution that is present in Namibia. Those are some of the accomplishments of the 4IR task force. They have been working with the stakeholders to create that coherence. I heard the words collaboration, coordination, and coherence, and it's really at a very practical level, just overcoming some of those limitations so that we can unlock the economic benefit from the work that we're doing. Moreover, they've been looking at things like, the visa regime in the country, the types of skills that we need, because there's a global skill scarcity within the digital sector, but also to just support the country to either inform our education national human resource strategy and plan in terms of our curriculums and the skills that we are preparing young people for the future, but also to support industry by augmenting organizations with the skills that we currently don't have in the country. So this is important because when we have got some kind of readiness tool, you know what your strengths and you know what your weaknesses are. Where there's a lack of information, you really don't know what you don't know, and you're leading a bit blindly. So in his absence is to really commend His Excellency the President for the foresight and providing that leadership role as a government, creating the space to harness the know-how of our private sector, academia, business leaders who contributed in this task force. And I should note at this juncture that Mr. Balotti was the deputy chairperson of the task force and really provided a lot of leadership in this laudable effort. Countries like Namibia have got a very high exposure to technology, but our education system and our industry have got a very low capacity to react. This is because we do not own the technology, and a lot of the technology is imported. But we do have the open data. We've got the open data as industry, we've got the open data as government through the citizen register. We have got a lot of information and a wealth of information that we sit on. And this is the capital resource that can assist all of us to inform smart, and I mean specific, measurable, realistic, time-bound, and intelligent-driven governance approaches. And in HPP2, I want to highlight that enterprise development has been a key strategic focus under the economic advancement pillar. And with this, we are focusing to inculcate the culture of entrepreneurship by underpinning it with innovation value chains. And that has been one of the main job descriptions at the NIPDB for the MSME department, is create those innovation value chains as a key strategic thrust of the government, so that we can create a convergence of not only technology, not only innovation, but the MSMEs who develop and use the technology. And we've been seeing that there are spin-offs in sectors like fintech, edutech, health tech, agriculture, and also the business support organizations that work to support these business streams. So information management systems, biometrics, digital applications that house information are really just going to strengthen government's position and also industry to become more efficient and effective in the way that we are taking decisions, because we know better. At this juncture, I want to recognize the contribution of MTC as well as the developer in his absence, Nabot, because research and development is still very, very underfunded in our country. I think in 2018, our president is on the committee of 10 of the African Union for presidents who are championing education, science, technology, and innovation. And at their Lilongwe summit, they made a commitment to increase government's investment on research and development from the current 0.1% to a general continental target of 0.5%. But as you can tell, 0.1% is a significant shortfall in investment for a country like Namibia on research and development. So this contribution through MTC and through the developer is going to strengthen our our country position on data collection and data asymmetry. Also looking at the continent and beyond, because digital transcends boundaries, it has made borders invisible. There's a lot of talk about the African Continental Free Trade Area. There have been both those who are very optimistic about AfTA, there have been the critics. The critics are saying that you have not been able to integrate even at the regional level. At SADC, you are not yet harmonizing your markets. What makes you think that you're able to eat this big elephant and integrate an entire continent? I choose to be an Afro-optimist. I choose to believe that we should aim for the stars and fall on the sky, or whatever the saying is, Dino. The point is that where borders have become translucent and where we are competing for the same opportunity as young people, no longer are you competing for a graphic design job or any kind of freelance job only as a Namibian. You are now in it with a Ghanaian and an East African from Uganda. All of you are to compete for the same opportunity. It is critical that we have got the platforms that can bring information to your fingertips. And I'm going to risk it here, Dino. It's not on my script. I was misquoted on a single line tweet where I said that poverty is the result of a lack of information. Poverty is multidimensional, and there are so many different complexities, that contribute to the state of poverty. But certainly access to information limits your ability to access an opportunity that can change your prospects. And where you do not have access to a business support organization, you do not know who your helpers are, you do not know where the opportunities lay. That is a missed opportunity for a young Namibian to develop and to realize their potential. My work in government as a public policy advisor is primarily to ensure that there is an intra-stakeholder coordination and that young people are able to meet the opportunities presented by government. Within the sub-Saharan African region, we are currently the youngest and the fastest growing region on this continent. Average age 19, we're increasingly urban, we're increasingly educated, we're increasingly upwardly mobile, because we had a growing middle class. It is now to be proven after COVID-19 the effects on the middle class in sub-Saharan region. But in terms of SADC, we have got a youth population of 35%, but we also know the youth unemployment dynamics. Namibia alone, young people unemployed are at 43%, more than the broad unemployment rate. As an optimist, a perpetual optimist, I really want to believe that this burden is our superpower. And the dividend that we talk about is only a dividend if we are able to harness the investment today. By 2026, this demographic window that we have, this youth bulge that we have, this body, this army of young people that we have, by 2026, they are going to exit their youth and they will become a very heavy elderly population. And really the urgency of government is to ensure that we unlock the potential of young people while they have the energy, so that they can multiply the economic benefit and build the country before government has to take care of them and give social safety grants, which would be quite unsustainable because of the size of our demographic. So with AfTA, ICT is an opportunity for us to leverage to enhance not only literacy and numeracy, but also to facilitate trade, to facilitate commerce, to facilitate development, to create real economic opportunities for young people, north to south, east to west. This tool will not only support a young Namibian who needs an opportunity from Kunene to Komas, it should support a young Namibian eventually to be identified by a fellow partner in the region, on the continent, to collaborate and to mobilize capital. I understand that one of the key functionalities is linkages to business support organizations, linkages to investors, linkages to capacity building partners. And that is the point of it all. So in conclusion, we are working towards digital transformation in our country. It is a process, and it's a process that you cannot skip a step. Technology is evolving every 18 months, and currently the pace of our reforms takes longer than 18 months. So government is increasingly becoming more agile. We recognize the need to be more nimble in order for us to meet the opportunities that are being presented by a very rapidly changing environment. In the post-COVID world, it is survival of the fittest, and there are going to be winners and losers, and Namibia is determined not to be left behind. And I think that is testament through the work and the leadership that has been provided by government, and also through the initiatives and developments such as the application that we are launching tonight. I only want to emphasize the importance of institutionalized collaboration. I want to, to recognize that our partners at the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade sit with valuable information on business registration through their agency, BIPA, the Business Intelligence and Protection Act, BIPA Authority, on record. And those national databases will form a big part of this. So there's a call to action for young people, business owners, to register themselves voluntarily. Whether you're formal or you're informal, we want to have your information. We want to know, what do we have, who's on the table, what are your productive capacities, what is your contribution, so that we can take informed decisions. As the Green Hydrogen Project rolls out in the South from next year, it's a transformational opportunity. We have to develop MSME value chains. We have to develop global supply value chains. The bidder has made a commitment that 30.6% of that procurement budget must go to local content. So we need to understand what do we have in the country and where are the gaps. And that can only be done when we bring information together. This first of its kind, first version application will be refined over time. It's an iterative process, and it will be continually improved upon to enhance the user experience and also just to make it more fit for purpose. The application will contribute towards our broader entrepreneurial ecosystem. We're working with entrepreneurs and enterprises on business support and advisory services, mentorship services, finance, and that's credit lending, but that's also grant finance, hybrid financing products, risk capital. We work with enterprises on standards and competitiveness. We work to support enterprises on intellectual property rights. We work to support enterprises with premises, incubation. We work to support enterprises with skills, capacity building. We work to support enterprises with technology and aggregating information. So this is a very important addition within the broader entrepreneurial ecosystem, as it will strengthen us to create and to forge linkages, to make the deals between those who are producing and those who either have services or those who have the capital to mobilize. The best part about it is that it's free. It's not developed for free, but it's free to the user, which means that there's a subsidization on the part of MTC, the NIPDB, on behalf of the government. And my call to action tonight is to really encourage those who are present and those who are following online and those who will be hear this information through the media to register their businesses so that we can have a full appreciation of what is the potential that we have in the country. With those remarks, Dino, it is my singular honor this evening to launch this first of its kind In4msme application. I like the name. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Desiree Matthias, for that very, very dynamic keynote address. And she said something very important, which is, this is information at your fingertip. So come on, guys, let's get that opportunity, and we're going to download the app a little bit later. And, you know, there was one thing that you said, Ms. Desiree, is that how do you eat a whole elephant? And Beatrice has the answer for you.
One bite at a time. That's right, one bite at a time. It might seem like a huge task, but if we take it one step at a time, we're one step closer to the goal at hand. And with the launch of this app, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is either go to your Google Store or your iStore and download the app and register. As you heard, it is completely free. So it is now up to you to ensure that this technology goes above and beyond what it was intended for.
Absolutely. So I hope you guys are right now ready for a little game. Yeah? Are we? Yes. All right, come on, guys. A little bit more enthusiastic. Are we ready for a little game?
All right, so before we start the little game, as per all events, I'm going to teach you a special clap. Okay, can we do that? So you're going to listen with your ears. I know that sounds very weird, but you are. And then you're going to clap after me. All right, so if you can just assist me. Absolutely. Okay, are you ready? Now you clap. And another one. And the last one. Very good. Very, very good. So now we're going to ask you some questions, and we have some amazing prizes for you to win. Now, for our audience joining us online, please feel free to let us know where you're joining us from in the comment section down below. If you have the answer for the questions being asked, please do not hesitate to also type into the chat section down below. All right, so question number 1.
Wait. So they raise their hand and
Yes.
then I pick?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
No shouting out the answer.
Yes.
Okay, proper classroom structures. We have a special clap. Okay, are you ready? Question number 1. What is the name of the newly launched app? Yes, can we clap for her? Yes, well done.
All right, this beautiful lady over here, you have won yourself a special something. Woohoo! All right, are we ready for question number 2?
Question number 2, and I'm so proud of you because I actually had a list of answers that I was going to give, but she was already ready. Well done.
Her hand was up before you
was-
finished the question,
It was
actually.
up. It was up. So question number 2, and please do wait for the different ABCD.
Because it's going to get a little harder, you see.
Okay. But if you can answer, please feel free. So question number 2, which of the following defines a micro business? Is it A, 1 to 10 employees, or B, 11 to 30 employees, or is it C, 31 to 1,000 employees, or D, none of the above?
So, all right. Yes. A is the correct answer.
Can we clap for her? And another one. Very good.
This beautiful lady over here won. Thank you so much.
With that said, we'd also like to give a special acknowledgement to the following organizations: NIPDB, Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology, the Office of the Prime Minister, World Group Bank, National Development Agency of South Africa, the GIZ, the NCRST, SEDA, Ministry of Finance, Development Bank of Namibia, GIZ Pro BATS, and the Economic Association of Namibia. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And another one.
Yes, very good.
All right. Are you ready for question number 3, everybody? Yeah, all right, B. We're ready for question number 3.
Now, I believe in gender balance, okay? So we have had 2 women win a prize. I'd like us to give this answer to a gentleman. Okay.
All right, gents.
Are you ready? Question number 3 is, what is the current estimated number of registered MSMEs in Namibia? And if you were listening, it was mentioned. A is 100,000, B is 30,000, C 2,000, and D 450,000.
All right, any of the gents? All right, this gentleman over here. Yes, sir. And your answer?
B.
B. And that is correct. Yes. All right, thank you and congratulations.
Can we clap for him again?
And another one.
Well done. Okay, I'm going to save the last question for the end. So before that, we're going to move on to our next speaker, and I'm going to hand over to the lovely Lady Marcella to introduce.
All right, so without this particular gentleman, the app would not have been developed. So he's really, really special for us. He's the star, the other star of tonight. So now it's time for the app demo and the unveiling by Mr. Nathaniel Nabot. He is the founder and principal consultant of Byteable. That's a very sexy name, Byteable. So, Mr. Nabot, I would like you to please unveil the app to us.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. All protocol observed. My role today is rather a technical one. It's not really much more in details into what the app is all about, but basically to showcase what we have actually developed over the days. But before going into details, I think it's very important for me to actually cover what Dino and David didn't cover on, which is the entire process from the initial inception up to the actual development and deployment of the app. So we did have quite a number of consultations from the very beginning, ever since January, where we had the NIPDB, MTC, and I in one boardroom, and we discussed really what are the key requirements as to what is required by the MSME. But going forward again, we did invite again a larger audience, which was now basically the team during the 4IR conference at NAST, where we gave them a soft launch, where they actually able to see what have we developed, they have tested, they have given their input, and thereafter again we sit around the table where we invite again now normal MSME to say, here is what we have developed, are you guys able to test and give us your input? So actually what we have here now actually is informed by the MSMEs on the ground, not just by our views, which is now NIPDB, MTC, and Byteable, but really people on the ground. But before going forward to the app itself, I think it's equally important to showcase the web application of the app. So what we have currently here, this is what we initially demoed during the very soft launch. We have the web app, and the web app is to cater for people without mobile phones, but have access to computers or laptops. And secondly, is to cater for people who prefer a much more wider display when they are submitting those. But importantly, we have observed that there is a pervasive presence of mobile phones. Everyone almost have a mobile phone. That's why there was a need to develop a mobile app. But what's important here is that now this mobile app and the web app, they work in a bi-directional approach, meaning what you submit here and vice versa will appear on the app and will also appear on the web application. So I'm not going to go too much in detail on the web app itself, but my role today really is to demo the mobile app itself. So I'm going to need the mobile mic because I might need to move somewhere in the middle there, and I'm going to mirror my screen, and I'm going to showcase what we have done over the year to say, and you guys can go ahead and test it out. Just give me a second. In4msme. As soon as you log in, what you see on the top header here, you see all the sectors of which one can submit their listing. And we have quite a number of variety. For now, we've put up placeholders, but going forward, after the app has been launched, we're going to clear it all out, and we're going to put the real data on the app itself. And what's important here is that I think it was been discussed by Tesri and Dino that one can really search for where is an SME and what are they doing in a specific sector as well. So one is able to search either by categories, or one is able to search either by region, or one is also able to search by free text, and one is able to actually identify that SME. And what's very important again is that one is able to go deeper in, let me say, any of the categories, and one is able to see who is there. So far, we have put up some placeholders, dummy data. As you can see, there's Likando and Nabot here. And one, if you delve deeper, you're able to see what are they doing, where are they, and how can I contact them as well. And importantly, if you find that you like that MSME, you are able to like them here, and you are able to shortlist them as part of your favorites. And going forward again, one can actually now say, I want a specific view. So you can choose a very small view, and one is able to see how it looks. You can choose a bigger view for those who are not able to see, and all that and that. But these are again cosmetics, but I think it's equally important for a much better user experience. Then moving forward, we have latest listings. So any latest listing that is being listed, it will be here. But importantly is that one can actually see all if need be. And as you can see, the next slide here, we have put up some placeholders. But again, here is very important to note that this can be for advertisements. So NIPDB is always holding events now and then. And I think it's equally important to make sure one is able to see or put up something there, and so that all the MSME are able to see what's really happening, the opportunities and all that and that. And going down here again, we have all the opportunities that the NIPDB is offering, or other stakeholders, so they're able to list them here, and all the MSMEs are able to get access to that as well. And again, these are again some cosmetics of what's up there, but one is able to filter down, say by blue economy, by education, and to filter down nice, quite nice. Again, importantly, there is the home, but the category button here, where one can actually now again go deeper by category and to filter down again to make sure information is quite easy to access for people. Then we have the search. As you can see, I have searched for quite a number of them. So one is able to search with categories, able to see the recent search, and also what's important, one is also able to use a GPS and see what kind of listings are within, let me say, 100 kilometers from where I am, or 15 kilometers from where I am. And I think that's very important for one to be able to do that as well. As you can see on the top there, there is a slider. So one is able to say, I only want to see listings within this specific parameter. Then importantly, there is a login part of the app. And this login part of the app, it allows you to be able to submit a listing or submit your business onto the app as well. So I'm going to do a small demo. I'm going to log in with my demo account, And then going forward, we'll be able now to see how can one submit a listing. But for those without an account, one is able to register for an account, read up all about the privacy and terms as written, and subscribe. You receive an email formal sign-up process. Then you are now able to log in. But let me log in. Okay, perfect. So he's gonna log in now. That's fine. So as soon as you log in, as you can see, it says your name is Demo, a small image of your profile, and you are able to edit your profile here. And going forward as well, what's important is that now you are able to see your wish list, which is what you have liked to say that these are the kind of organizations I prefer or I have shortlisted from other directory. And this really kind of make it a little bit easier for you to say that in an event I want to come back tomorrow, I can still see whoever I liked, whoever I shortlisted, apart from all the people maybe in the education sector, and you are able to go back and see their details. And again, what's important is that we have included the push notification. So in an event, there is an event happening at NIPDB or the stakeholders, one is able to receive such push notification right from their phone. But again, it's very important to give users a choice. So one is able to turn off notifications, so you don't get so disturbed if you are in meetings and all that and that. And as I've said, we did have quite intense stakeholder engagement where we spoke about color, and some are saying they prefer it dark, some they prefer it white. But what we have said, we must give users an option to say they prefer light mode or dark mode, so one is able to choose dark mode and to change accordingly, so you're able to see at night much more better if need be. Again, these are cosmetics, but again, for an enhanced user experience, this is what you might need. Then one can rate the app and all that and that. So to submit a listing, one is able to click on add a listing, then a pop-up should come up. It's coming here, I'm not sure why it's not showing that side. Let's give it a second. Then one is able to submit all the details, which is now your business name, your address, and all that and that until one is able to do that. Let's give it a second, it's showing on this side. Okay, let's do it again. Sorry, I think it's... Okay. Okay, anyways, I think it's showing this side. It seems to be an issue, but... Sorry. Yeah, but that's basically it. I think with those few remarks and a few demos I have shown, I hereby unveil the In4msme app. And thank you all for participating. I want to thank MTC, NIPDB, and all the stakeholders who have been involved in this development. It wasn't easy. It requires back and forth, but from my side, I appreciate your effort and including me into the entire development phase. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Nabot. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The app has been officially launched. So head over to your app stores, your Play stores, and download the In4me SME app. Can you give yourself a round of applause for that? I would now like to call upon Mr. Nawa Likando, the head of digital transformation for MTC, to deliver the closing remarks on behalf of Mr. Liki Erastus, who is the managing director of MTC. Can we please give him a round of applause?
Good evening, everyone. May I observe the protocol that has already been established? I think before I go into the speech, I was privileged to get the opportunity to deliver the remarks on behalf of our MD. But seeing that we are live streaming online, I'd just like to shout out to Phil, who is calling Nabot right now. So he's part of the program. Director of Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen, while I honor the protocol established, please allow me to extend most humbly my warm greeting to you all. I'm sure that we can all agree that innovation has become a significant driver of economic growth, not to mention the opportunity it presents to create much required convenience for our stakeholders. By way of reiteration, I must emphasize that regardless of the unique business and operational context that we all operate in, we need to leverage technology and innovation. Without technological innovation, we lose out on the agility and efficiency required to realize stakeholder satisfaction and inclusivity, the critical pillar of our organizational mission. I'm amazed by what technology can unlock, and as a proponent of innovation, we have a philosophy at MTC to support innovations that are not only bankable, but also a catalyst towards economic prosperity and value to all. The application which NIPDB is launching today is a great leap in offering value, convenience, and economic opportunities to stakeholders. MTC, as an enabler and driver of the digital economy, is proud to have been a joint partner and a technical lead in the development of this In4msme app through the HTTPS and the MTC Innovation Center. I'm pleased to know that like-minded institutions such as NIPDB are keen on creating and leveraging digital ecosystems in pursuit of efficacy towards your business objectives and ultimately your vision and mission. To achieve optimal smart business practices, especially in enabling information accessibility to all stakeholders, an integrated digital ecosystem is key. To this extent, MTC, as a digital services provider, through the HTTPS partnership with NUST and the MTC Innovation Center, is well equipped to provide managed solutions applicable to various sectoral needs and problem statements. Colleagues, digital transformation is a non-negotiable, and as such, we need to adopt and quickly migrate to a culture of practicing smart and sustainable businesses where technology and innovation is central while appreciating and upholding traits and qualities of good governance. As your premier driver of digitalization, join us as we move you closer to the world of unbound realities. The world is moving towards digitalization, and MTC, as the country's primary digital services provider, will always be there to continue making the ultimate connection. With those few words, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. And please don't forget to register your SIM cards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nawalikando, for that beautiful closing remarks. And yes, guys, don't forget to register your SIM toch before, it's over. Alrighty. So now I would like to invite the lady who has been driving this whole thing together with Mr. Balotti. And so I would like to ask Ms. Claudia Capelau, who is the manager of the MSME ecosystem optimization, to please give a vote of thanks. Madam, get over here.
Good evening
today is the first day this whole week that I smiled. Developing this app was definitely not something that I've done on my own. It was definitely not something that was easy. But what do they say? Nothing good ever comes easy. I don't think I'm going to take up any more time. The speeches have done justice to what this occasion is about. So I have the very simple honor and privilege of acknowledging. Am I taller than I think? Okay. I have the very simple honor and privilege of acknowledging some of the people that made this all possible, including our speakers who joined us tonight. So I'm going to be a little bit unconventional. It's not beauty pageants. I'm not going to call people one by one. I'm going to call everybody together. So when I mention your name, please join me up front. Mr. Dino Balotti. What's the new clap? We also have Dino, in the absence of NU, Nangula Wanja. You'll be receiving something on her behalf. We also have Ms. Desiree Matthias, Mr. Nathaniel Nabot, and Nawa Likando in his own right, and also on behalf of Dr. Leki Erastus of MTC. I also almost mentioned my own name. And last but not least, I'd like to call on Mr. Johan Steenkamp. And I'd also like to call on the gift bearers. I think tonight has been enjoyable, not just because of the production, the lights, the camera, the action, but also because we've had two hostesses with the mostesses. And for them, we also have a small token of appreciation. So I'd like you two to also come up front and receive your token of appreciation from us. Yes, you're off duty for now. It's all in the name. Today was the launch of the MSME app. So from here, this actually marks the beginning. So one thing we really tried to emphasize was that we wanted, as much as we invited our business support organizations, we wanted to make sure that we had MSMEs in the room. So if you're a business owner, can you please raise your hand? Let's see you. Let's give them a round of applause. We would like you from this point onwards to please download the app. Now, unfortunately, we cannot control the people at Apple, so we are in the process of still getting that approved. It is not anything to worry about. It will be done. Nabot assures me by the end of the week because he has connections like that. But if you do have an Android phone, it's available right now on the Google Play Store. In4msme, download it, register your business, so we know who you are, so you know who you are, and so the support organizations know who you are. And with that, let's eat, drink, and be merry. Thank you for coming.
All right, but before we drink, chill, and network, we still have 2 more prizes that you can win. All right, are you guys ready for 2 more prizes? Who wants to win? Raise your hand. Okay.
Very good. So question number 4. What is the slogan of the MSME app? Is it A, make MSME the connection, or B, unlocking growth, or C, connecting Namibian MSMEs, unlocking growth, or is it D, unlocking the good times?
All right, yes, you, sir, your hand was up.
Connecting Namibia MSMEs, unlocking.
Yes, can we give him a round of
that
applause?
is correct. This gentleman over here has won a prize. Congratulations.
And our last question, question number 5. The MSME app is powered by A, NIPDB and MTC, or B, MTC and future business leaders, or C, NIPDB and the Chamber of MSMEs, or is it D, future business leaders and Chamber of MSMEs?
All right, this lady's hand was up even before Beatrice finished her question. She really wants to win. All right, what is the answer?
A.
A. And that is correct. Yes, this lady over here has won a prize. Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed. Now, I don't know if many of you are aware of this, but in the month of September, we celebrate deaf awareness. Now, if you noticed, I did this often, and this is clapping in sign language. So when you meet a deaf person and they do this, they are clapping for you. So before you leave, I'd like to teach you a few signs. This means thank you. And in Namibia, we say hello. Hello and thank you. Now, what I love about the app is that it is inclusive. And inclusive means reaching all Namibians. So that means our deaf Namibians as well. So thank you for being with us this evening. You are welcome to network, for your network is your net worth. So feel free to go to the back and grab yourself a soft drink. All soft drinks and hors d'oeuvres are for free. However, if you want something more on the harder side, you have to pay for it.
Cash money.
Cash money. With that said, thank you, and have a fantastic evening.
All right, thank you. And let's network, everybody.